friend down, deep into the catacombs of Paris. "Jesus," she muttered, when she felt her boots collide with the bottom. Her voice echoed back. "Some light here, maybe?" After a moment, the shutter on the lantern opened. It was an old-fashioned candle lantern with a fisheye lens, a beam of weak yellow light illuminating the gallery. Ribbs had taken it off her belt and leaned it against the wall. Alice could see the girl drawing back her wet hood, smoothing her red hair. The air was cold, sour. Ribbs was grinning, gap-toothed at her. "Not Jesus, just me." Alice gave her a flat look. "What?" "I waited nearly an hour." The girl winked. "It weren't my fault you was there early. Anyway, I got us lunch. I don't reckon you remembered to." "No one saw you?" "Saw me?" Ribbs's tone was wounded. She sniffed, opened her cloak to reveal a package in brown paper, tied off under one arm. "Look at this, a baguette and half a cheese. No reason we got to be all bones just because everyone else down here is, right?" Alice suppressed a smile. Ribbs was maybe 15 or 16 years old, but there was something about her that made Alice think she'd never been a kid, not really, and something else that made her think she'd never quite be a grown-up. The catacombs were thick with silence. 3 tunnels branched off in different directions, tall and arched. Alice closed her eyes, and the dark ache bloomed in her side. They were seeking the second orsine, a door between worlds, a way to cross into the land of the dead and find a living boy trapped within. It was somewhere under Paris. Dr. Burkhast had told Alice as much in his sunlit greenhouse at Cairndale long months ago. A bone bird clicking weirdly at his wrist, his eyes cold and dead. And almost as soon as she'd arrived in Paris, she'd felt it, an ache radiating up out of the old wound in her side, a coldness that seeped down her left arm into her fingertips. It was as if the infected dust that Jacob Marber, corrupted talent, servant of an evil more terrible than anything Alice had imagined, had left in her, was stirring, waking up, as if it knew an orsine was near, and like a hook in her side, tugging at her, it had led her forward, first through the crowded lanes and boulevards across the bridges, then down into the maze of the ossuaries. Ribbs, who'd come with her, could only trail along, watchful. Alice, for her part, just went where it hurt worst. But they weren't in the ossuaries now. There were miles of ancient quarries under Paris, tunnels and stairs carved out of the limestone, submerged chambers, wells hidden in the absolute darkness. Only a small part of it was known. There were stories of things living deep in the underground, pale creatures, vengeful spirits, cutthroats and pickpockets. Stories of servants lost in the black when their lanterns extinguished, their bodies only found years later. Stories of sudden drops, of dead ends, of ceiling collapses. Maybe some of it was even true, but Alice, for her part, figured probably the worst thing in that darkness was her own self and the thing that was inside her. Ribbs was looking at her funny. "So, which way then?" Alice grimaced. She started down the left-hand tunnel, retracing their steps from the night before, following the line of red chalk they'd slowly been adding to. Ribbs came along behind. The tunnels were wide at first, dry. The lantern's beam was weak and wobbled as Ribbs walked. They could see a few feet ahead, nothing more. The tunnel turned and turned again. Then they descended an iron staircase put in sometime in the last century, and crept past a well and through a fissure in the limestone. All the while they watched for the line of red